This week I'm turning a canvas and a cheap Bluetooth speaker into a piece of art that plays music. Hi everyone, welcome back to the City Aperture channel. My name is Jose and I go by City Aperture. And welcome back. We got a new project going on today. One that typically I've finished the project by the time I'm doing this intro, but this time all I got are parts. I'm gonna take this sort of inexpensive Bluetooth speaker and I'm gonna combine it with a canvas, and I'm gonna have a piece of art that is actually a hidden Bluetooth speaker. I always want to have music playing, or actually I listen mostly to podcasts or a book or so, and I want to be able to have it sort of playing, but I don't want to have a speaker showing. So this way it'll be hidden behind a piece of art. I don't know how it's gonna go. I'm gonna take this thing apart first, see what we got, and we'll go from there. So let's just jump right in.
You can pretty much take it apart right out of the box. It won't damage anything. I just pulled the screws right out to see what was underneath. And then I discovered there were really only 3 parts. So
here are the 3 parts of the speaker. We have the actual speaker, the control board, and then this is the battery. I just gotta find a place for all 3 of them inside the frame and we should be good. And I gotta be able to access obviously all these points. This is the little plate that goes on top of it. So we'll figure that part out next.
I knew I wanted to put a back support for the speaker, so this is me marking out how much I have to route out to put this back support in. I just used a piece of scrap wood. Here's my small palm router, which will get me most of the way there. I'll route out sort of large chunks, and then I'll switch to some chisels to get right up to the line. I'm not great with a router yet, just trying to get better at it. But here I'm chiseling out right up to the edges, just to try and get a nice clean cut. Once I've chiseled out all the edges, I can test the back support, which again is just a piece of scrap wood. Then I'm going to have to drill a recess for the speaker, which is what I'm doing here. And I was being careful, kept measuring, because it was important for the speaker to end up at the same level as the fabric.
So this is going to be the basic layout. I'm going to have the speaker under here, right up against the fabric. We'll put the battery behind there, and then I'm going to route out some of the frame to be able to put this guys in here. That is the plan. See how it goes? Let's keep going with it. Now that I've routed out everything, I'm going to give it a dry fit just to make sure everything is fitting. Like I know this fits in there, and this is going to fit in here. And I'm going to go ahead and drill out the screw hole.
So I just pre-drilled everything just to make sure there was no wood splitting, and just drove the screws in, just, I can test fit everything. Now I'm going to start securing the parts to the frame itself. I just used hot glue to hold the speaker in place, and the battery actually as well, both get held with hot glue. Again, this was the key piece though, because I wanted that speaker to be right up to the fabric, which I think ends up helping making the speaker a little louder. It kind of makes the whole frame into a speaker. Once those are secure, I just flip it over. I used one of the screw holes that already was on the board to screw that in place. Then I tested the front plate. Once I had that where I wanted, I had glued the other end. So this whole thing could come apart if I wanted to, and I could put the innards of this speaker somewhere else. Then I put this little piece of wood back on top. Now, this thing is mostly there. Yeah, it protects the board, but it's so that when I wrap the fabric, I have somewhere to staple. Now everything's screwed in. I make sure the plate fits in the front, and here you see the front of the speaker. And let's just cover it in fabric. It's a pretty straightforward process. But here you can really see how that piece of wood's gonna give somewhere for the staples to go. I found this fabric on special, so I liked it. I'm a big comic book fan. I did have to make sure to cut around the controls, just so I could put the control plate back on. There you go, that's all wrapped. And now I just gotta, and the speakers are right up against the fabric. I really liked it. And there's the controls, and I just gotta put that plate on. I test fit it, and then I just put a little bit of hot glue on it to hold it in place. So there's the finished product.
There you guys have it. That's how I turned this Bluetooth speaker into a framed piece of art that plays music. So easier than I thought. I wasn't sure what I was going to get into when I took this apart. This is just the empty shell now. I'm going to throw this out or recycle what I can. But now I can hang this up. It has the controls right here on the side. Right, I kept the piece of plastic. I sort of trimmed the edge just to be able to still use it. There's the on-off switch, pairing it. It pairs right to the phone. And now I can hang it right back here. This is going to be its final resting place. Right there. And it just looks like some of the other frames in the back. But I can listen to my podcast. I can listen to my music. I often have a screen playing a show or a documentary, but I can't always hear it very well, so now I'll have it hooked to that speaker and I'll hear it better. So it was a fairly straightforward process. I kind of liked it. I was gonna do an original piece of artwork, but I just didn't have the time or the inspiration of something that would go with everything else that I have hanging there. So I found that fabric and that's what I used. I'll show you some images of it now, and I'll play a little bit of music, just hopefully enough that it doesn't get hit for copyright, and I'll do that now. So you guys can see it's pretty loud, but yeah, there you have it. That's how it turned out. Hope you guys like this project. You know, it's easy. You guys should do it yourself. That way you don't have an ugly thing just sort of hanging around. And if you do, shoot me an image of how yours turned out. I'd love to see it. Otherwise, like the video, follow the channel, subscribe, and hit the bell and all that stuff. Alright guys, see you next week for another project. If you guys like this project, then maybe you'll enjoy the podcast that I do with my two colleagues, Claudia and Ray. We discuss purpose-driven design, making, and manufacturing. We talk about architecture. We talk about all sorts of making. We have a project of the week. So yeah, please check it out. Again, it's called The Made Podcast. Thanks so much.